Hello, everyone. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Chillin Extremophile, who will tell us a little bit about his life and how he has been able to survive on this planet to date. Mr. Chillin, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for having me. Can you tell us a bit about you? What does it mean to be an extremophile? Oh, right, because I'm sure a lot of people don't even know what that is. Exactly. Okay, well, in basic terms, an extremophile like me can survive in extreme environments, like environments that are really hot, cold, have acid, or salt. Due to this ability, we are considered to be the first life forms to exist on Earth. What is really cool is that I have the ability that allows us to survive in many different situations when other organisms are not able to, which basically is like a superpower. Wow, that is so cool. I would love to experience living as an extremophile in an extreme environment for one day of my life. What type of environment do you live in? Well, I'm called a psychrophile, which means I live in extremely cold temperatures of 15 degrees Celsius or lower. Where exactly do you live? I actually live in a glacier in Antarctica, but I have relatives who live nearby in the deep ocean waters in polar ice. That is so cool. Do you guys have any special names? Yes, in technical terms, we are called Psychroebacterium and greenlandensis. Talk about a mouthful. Exactly. So, you can just call me Mr. Chillin, or I can go by Icy or Frigid. Okay, Mr. Icy, tell me a bit about the superpowers that you have to allow you to survive these conditions. Well, we essentially have an antifreeze protein that protects our DNA, and no, it's not the antifreeze that you put on your car windows to defrost them, so don't get too excited. This antifreeze basically allows us to keep our enzyme activity going and prevented us from freezing over and dying. If we did not have this, then all of our proteins would die and become denatured. The water in our cells would expand, rupturing our bodies with ice crystals. Sadly, I saw this happen to my friend Bob. Oh my, that sounds pretty gruesome. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend Bob. Well, I warned him, but he didn't listen. What area did Bob come from exactly? He came from the Dead Sea, no pun intended. He's a halophile, which means that he can live in areas with high salt concentrations, 5 times the salt concentration that is in the ocean. What he didn't understand was that being a salt extremophile does not make you a cold extremophile. The same goes for my friend Miss Sizzle, who lives 6.7 kilometers inside of the Earth's crust, where it's sizzling hot. We cannot visit each other, because we would die in each other's environments, so we FaceTime. It is nice to hear that you're keeping in touch with your friends, even though you cannot physically see them. I just have another question that's on my mind because your story is so interesting. How many others are like you? Can they live in different places? Does this mean there could potentially be life beyond Earth? Those are great questions. Beyond myself, Bob, and Miss Sizzle, there are also barophiles that can grow under pressure. Cue the music, Queen and David Bowie. And acidophiles that live in high acid areas. Finally, polyextremophiles can live in places with multiple environment conditions going on at the same time, such as hot, acidic, and metallic springs. If I had a polyextremophile friends, they'd be able to visit me because they can basically survive in almost any environment. Wait, what does this mean? That there can be life beyond Earth. Yes, did you hear about the study in 2022? No, what study? There was a study that scientists recreated the environment on Mars and tested extremophiles to see if they were able to survive, and they did. They withstood high UV radiation, low oxygen, and dry atmosphere, and no moisture. Then there was also the study on Venus, where they found extremophiles could potentially survive on the lower cloud layers and temperatures of minus 200 degrees, deep below the planet's surface. Oh, wow! I think we have a lot of digging to do in terms of future research because this could really point to the fact that life exists beyond our planets. Exactly. Well, I would love to continue this talk in our next meeting, and maybe we can go into further detail about this potential life beyond Earth. But for now, I would like to thank you so much, Mr. Chillin, for your time today and for all your help answering my questions. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here. Well, everyone, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for joining us next time, and stay tuned for our future podcast.